What happens when you combine a P-40 fighter plane and a 39 Chevy and a Dream? Well, here's my story. I purchased a 1939 Chevy two-door Master Deluxe, formerly known as the Heap of Rubble, and started my project. I constructed a frame using 2x6 1/8-inch wall tubing and the front end off a GMC van. The rear end is a 9-inch Ford. Years ago I bought some Allison aircraft engines from E.J. Potter. Later I purchased an engine that E.J. had overhauled and sold for a pulling tractor. I was going to build another pulling tractor, bigger this time, but because of the new wife, kids, the house payments, etc., I gave up on the pulling tractor idea and put my dream on hold for a while. Quite a while, in fact. The Allison engine was originally developed in the 1930s to power naval airships, but was later used to power fighter planes during World War II. The Allison engine has 1,710 cubic inches. That's 28 liters for your metric guys, 28,000 cc's for your motorcycle guys. It is a liquid-cooled V12, 5.5-inch bore and 6-inch stroke. It has overhead camshafts and 4 valves per cylinder. Valves are sodium-cooled. 2 spark plugs per cylinder. Dry sump oiling system and a supercharger. A P-38 also had a turbocharger that supplied sea-level air pressure to the top of the carburetor. With the turbocharger feeding into the supercharger, this allowed full power at a much higher altitude. If this version of the engine had been used in the P-51 Mustang, it would have flown higher and farther on the same amount of fuel, and we would not have been forced to pay a $6,000 royalty to Rolls-Royce for every engine that was made in the U.S. But I'm getting off track here, so back to my story. The Allison engine is constructed mostly from aluminum and magnesium, with some very high quality steel mixed in. The supercharger is a centrifugal unit that turns approximately 8 times crankshaft speed. It has a dual magneto ignition system with distributors mounted on the ends of the camshafts. Many versions of the engine were made, including 2-stage supercharged version with a turbo compounder that on 200 octane gas produced 3,000 horsepower. The engine I am using is rated at 1375 horsepower at 3,000 RPM and 7 pounds of boost. Originally the engine had a 2-to-1 gear reduction on the front of the engine, so the propeller turned 1/2 crankshaft speed. EJ turned this around so it is a 2-to-1 overdrive for use in a pulling tractor. They made right and left hand rotation engines. My engine is a right hand rotation, so in my car the front of the engine is the back and it turns the wrong way, so by gearing it, it turns the right way, which is left. Think about that for a while. I will use a Chrysler automatic transmission. The engine has a fuel injector type carburetor that would fly upside down if you like. Because I really don't want to find out if my car will run upside down, I hope to electronically fuel inject it. This should help my gas mileage because I'm going to get it street legal and licensed. To fit the engine in the Chevy, we lengthened the hood 4 feet and we also made the car a foot wider. In the trunk I mounted a 16-horse gas engine to run my accessories. I have a fan, radiator, water pump, 12-volt alternator, 24-volt alternator, and a power steering pump. I will also have a radiator in the front with electric fans. This should allow me to idle through parades and cruise nights. I mounted hydraulic cylinders to raise and lower my hood. They are from a boat and came with a 12-volt hydraulic pump. Completion date is unknown, but I'm hoping for the summer of 2010. Anyone want to go for a ride? Oh, by the way, I wonder what his next project will be.